Good evening, everyone. This is Arthur Robinson Jr. I am the creator of PowerfulInterviews.com. I want to welcome each and every one of you to this video. In this video, you're going to experience life-changing information that you won't find anywhere else. I'm doing an incredible interview with a great friend of mine. His name is Frank Darras, and Frank Darras is an insurance attorney, and Frank Darras' business generates over $10 million or more in revenue and a lot more. So what you're going to experience in this life-changing information, Frank Darras, he talks about the benefits and the deficits of term and whole life insurance. He talks about the benefits and the deficits of having a policy. And also, Frank Darras, in detail, he talks about the ERISA and how the ERISA all got started and much, much more. So right about now, go get your pen and your pad, sit back and relax, and write down some notes. This information I'm going to reveal to you with my great friend, Frank Darras, is going to change your life. So check it out. Good evening, everyone. This is Arthur Robinson Jr., and today I have another special interview just for you. Today I'm going to be interviewing a great friend of mine, and he's a smart, intelligent businessman. His name is Frank Darras. And for those that don't know Frank, I'm going to elaborate to you about him. Frank Darras is recognized across the country as one of America's top insurance lawyers. Frank client list literally reads like the who's who of sport figures, business professionals, doctors, dentists, chiropractors, lawyers, film stars, and television personalities. In addition to high-profile clients, Frank Darras helps people unable to afford representation and tackles America's most difficult insurance bad faith cases. Litigating across the nation, he evaluates over 30,000 new cases per year. He is America's choice for insurance-related representation. Darras has recovered nearly $500 million on behalf of the disadvantaged and the disabled, and that is an awesome resume. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome Frank Darras to the call.
Thanks so much for having me, Arthur.
Well, thank you, Frank. I'd like to thank you once again for taking time out your busy schedule to educate my listeners about the insurance industry. I gladly appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Now, what I would like to know, and can you educate my listeners in regards to, can you give them a brief background about exactly what it is you do and what we're actually going to learn from you today in regards to the insurance industry and what does the ERISA stands for?
You bet. I have the largest litigation practice in the country, and I sue disability and long-term care insurers on behalf of disabled or disadvantaged policyholders. So if any of your listeners have medical, life, disability insurance, and they're an employee working for a company, they're covered under a law called ERISA, the Employment Retirement Income Security Act. My acronym for it is Everything Rotten Invented Since Adam, because, Arthur, ERISA has been on the books since 1974, originally designed to protect the employee and to stop big business from ravaging and stealing their pension and retiree medical benefits. In the 90s, insurance companies and big insurance decided it would be a good thing to apply towards medical, life, and disability. They sold it to Congress, the idea being, hey, let's make a simple, uniform set of laws that all 50 states could follow, so there wouldn't be any forum shopping. People wouldn't be coming to California because we have a consumer-rich protection here in California. They wouldn't go to Florida. They wouldn't go to states where big insurance didn't live or their corporate officers didn't reside. They'd go to states like mine where policyholders are protected. And we've got some very, very strong consumer rights and remedies. So this law, this ERISA, if you take out your medical card, if you look at your medical policy in the table of contents, you'll see something, and the acronym is usually there, ERISA. And it applies to medical life and disability policies that an employee gets from their employer. And a lot of people, if I'm in the carpool line at school, I'll hear people say, oh, my husband or my wife works for this big company or that big company, and we've got great insurance because we work for a big company. Let me educate the listeners. Whether you're the CEO or the secretary, ERISA applies to you if you get your benefits from your employer. And here's the stark differences. Let's say you, Arthur, go out and meet an agent or a broker, and you buy an individual disability policy, something that protects you in your job, what you do, and is going to pay you 60% of your monthly earnings if you can't do your job because of sickness or accident. Let's assume you really get hurt and you're really down and out. And gosh darn it, you need that disability benefit every month to put food on the table and gas in the car and keep your kids in school. And your insurance company wrongfully or despicably denies your claim. Not only may you lose your house, but your kids may come out of private school, your credit is stained, you're going to suffer that distress, that worry, that chagrin of being snookered, and the emotional distress of being a disappointment to your family. And those are all extra damages. And in that particular case, where you buy the insurance from an agent or broker, you've got the comfort of going down to your local court and having a jury of your peers have you come down, and your wife and your doctor and all the people who've treated you, Dr. Right. You got the right care, the right treatment, the right medication, and the insurance company, through their doctors, may get exposed in the trial, and they may have unreasonably or without proper cause delayed or denied your benefits. And a jury can find that, because a jury of 8 or a jury of 12, that's a lot of eyes in a jury box. They can award punishment damages to make an example so others in our town or city or state don't get treated that way by a big insurance company. You can get emotional distress award for that worry and sleepless nights, etc. You get the back due benefits, and you really have a day or a week where a jury can see, did you try hard to get back to work? Did the care that you received it didn't fix you? And the insurance company either beat you up, wore you down, or tried to starve you out to make the courthouse difficult to find and often too expensive to get into. Those are the rich consumer remedies that most Americans, whether it's medical, life, or disability, get when they buy a policy themselves through an agent or broker. Let's assume I'm the same employee. You bought your coverage through an agent or broker. I got mine as an employee benefit. For your listeners, if you're covered under ERISA, you don't have a right to a trial by jury. Number 2, there's no punishment damages. So if your insurance company despicably denies and delays your claim, there's no punishment for them to do that. There's no emotional distress damages. There's no extra damages if your credit is stained or you lose your house or your equity or your car is repossessed. In fact, the only thing that you get if you're a group employee and you're disabled